Hey, what's up, guys? So, as you can see here, I really won by a lot on this one, and that's why I titled this one Defensive Annihilation. So, let's just go through the basics and then we'll get into the footage here and the wrap up and the end on my thoughts on how this defense works so well. In the ranking, you can see clearly I lost trial 1, and I was going against Lukash, and we had similar scores, very close, going into the second trial here. Lukash is 65 mil, 3.5 mil STP, and here are my stats. Okay, so this is what I have in each room, and we'll go into the specifics of how this worked, or my thoughts on how these work, these rooms, and how them combinate in placement orders and things of that nature as we wrap up the video. But let's take a look at the footage here, and so you guys can see how the attacks went and then the defense went as well. So as you can see, the out of time team did really well as far as pulling a New Warriors. And this is a strong New Warriors. This is a punch down slightly. I mean, 150K or so. And he got an 8360. So my goal is still anything under 8361 is a decent defensive stance. It's not excellent, it's just decent. You kept him under an average score. And so this team did its job. And then so the main thing is that he wasn't able to use New Warriors anywhere else. I think as you've seen the attacks, he just wasn't able to use New Warriors anywhere else. He did try them and they failed. And I think that speaks a lot to the limitations of New Warriors as we're getting new teams and new tunes into the game. Clearly, he tried New Warriors here. One, I have a much stronger Old Man Logan, so let's not be deceived. I do like the team. I think the team is pretty decent, but in Crucible, it's just Old Man Logan who's the real threat. And so Absorbing Man has a decent amount of tankiness, and so he was able to survive a couple of the initial hits. He actually didn't even die until APOC hit the whole team. The unfortunate thing is with the team that he went in with the second time, this APOC and Horseman team, is that Old Man Logan never got a chance to get going. But at the end of the day, if you have to use APOC and a Horseman team here, then really this team has done its job. I think he'll know going forward, so he won't drop a room. He'll just probably just go in with his power team. But this did help me because as the time was going on, I didn't know if he was going to drop a room at all. So this was helpful to see him drop this room. And so as you see here, I'm not sure that using Secret Defenders here was the best choice, but the Quicksilver I think is going to kind of ruffle some things in there no matter how it goes. So it was just good to see that this took a double tap, and I'll continue forward with this Quicksilver and with the X-Men for a bit till guys really figure it out. And so the way this room seems to be working is with Black Knight. It's a Black Knight room. And then when you work in the trio for this room, which is becoming quickly Black Knight, Rogue, and Gambit, it makes the room very hard to beat. Guys have tried different tunes. They put in Tangle Web, they put in Cap and Peggy, and it usually requires a double tap. Now, once again, I don't think he made the best choices. I think the Team 1 is the obvious choice that most guys would go in with. I don't think the second team was a good choice. But Team 1, I think most guys would try that. They would try to win with maybe, instead of Kestrel, they would just go ahead and go in with 99 so they could have their standard team and try to have a chance at it because there's Black Knight in there. But I do think that the challenge that he ran into when you see the power of the two teams that he did go in with and he had to cancel is that Sunfire is tankier. His ult is hitting harder. Aside from that, I don't think he's bringing a lot more to the table, but he is still unlimited and he's still carrying the Cosmic Crucible tag. And we can't tell so much from him going in with Cabal. Once again, this team pulls a Cabal. Yeah, I don't know if that was a good choice, but he felt pressure to use Cabal here. And I'm wondering if Jubilee really got in and was causing these guys to get assists, that your Secret Defenders struggle and you can't beat this team with Tangle Web, or at least Weaver. And Weaver Eternals is usually what guys going with. But it pulled a Cabal, and so I think that that's pretty huge when you're looking at the grand scheme of things. And so here, I'm not quite sure what his game plan was, because once he used Cabal, he didn't have APOC. And so I don't know how he thought these teams, especially New Warriors, I don't know how he thought that team would win. And so here, you have what would appear to work, is what I went in with Black Knight. Now, I've used it before on Straight Spider side. I'm not sure why it didn't work. But it didn't work, and then he went in with the counter that guys say will work. That's with the Ghost Rider Robbie version. And he had to cancel out there. So I'm just starting to think that this Room 6 has really got some things going on with it that makes it harder to beat certain teams. Because I had a problem with the scroll on his defense as how Vol went so soon. We talked about that quite a bit on how that could happen. So there could be something going on with Room 6, or maybe it's not. But at the end of the day, if you put a strong team in here like the Spider Society or some type of scroll team, then it may help you get the win. But you can see what he went in with, and that was his Masters of Evil. And I don't know why he let them die here. Maybe he thought he had another attack and he just forgot. because he had gotten him so low, and he's okay, I could kill him now. But at the end of the day, he learned a lot from this, I'm sure, as well as I learned a lot. And I'm definitely going to keep this defense for a bit longer, especially the rest of this week. The only change I'm going to do here, even though Absorbing Man really performed well, and he's probably the better of my pre-taunts to put in here, I'm going to put in Bishop because I think he'll serve the same purpose. Maybe not as well. He may not be able to take as many hits. But the idea is basically just that Bishop goes in and they can't go in with a New Warriors or some type of New Warriors comp and get beaten because there's a pre-taunt. And also maybe some splash damage or things like that could hit old man Logan, and that would, trigger him to go a little bit faster. So that didn't happen, of course, with the APOC and Horseman, but it will be good to see if it does happen with the pre-taunts. So this is the team we're going to stick with. The out-of-time Dorm, I changed position slightly, if you guys have noticed in the past, and I put Starbrand next to Cap, just with the hope that it could maybe stretch this out a bit. I didn't see that necessarily being the case. And so my concern has been if guys end up going after Dorm, the Peggy gets splash damage. But this one here, this placement has caused a little bit more problems. So we're going to switch it to this, at least for going into the trial tonight. I think the placement order worked, even though we didn't see much. We couldn't really tell. I think the placement order here is working well. And so in room 4, so we're going to keep it the same. Same with room 5, because those rooms, if they're doing what they're doing, rooms 4, 5, and 6, I don't think there needs to be any changes to them. So we're going to ride those out as they are and hopefully get the same, if not similar, results. But okay, guys, chat later.